Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So let's start off with Gwen and Abigail. So they come to the meeting of the minds pretty much, and they try, Jack tries to get them to just kind of squash the beef, move forward. They don't have to sit there and forget, but they do have to kind of just move forward. And, Gwen, she apologizes. She gives a genuine, I'm sorry. Now, I'm trying to look at this from two different perspectives. I look at this from Gwen's standpoint, and I'm like, it came off genuine. Listen, she felt she was wrong, and she wanted to get back at you. Consequences be damned. But with that being said, she understands what she did now was wrong. It was dead wrong. And so she apologizes. For everything. And with that being said, she's like, yo, listen, I want to move on. And, Abigail, from two standpoints, Abigail, one, I understand exactly how she feels. I can't sit there and be a hypocrite and tell her to be like, oh, well, you should forgive her, and you're holding grudges, and you're acting immature, and you should be acting this way. Yo, listen, this woman tried to literally trash your lives and your family's lives. So I totally understand that she cannot just be like, oh, okay. Alright, yeah, you know what, listen, that was sincere, that was cool. Alright, let's just forget it all happy, and let's put it all in the past. I get it. I do. But, here's the thing. Abby literally says that she wants to sit there and try to move on and move past this. You can't do that if you're not willing to sit there and literally listen and hear her out. So her sitting there coming out the back talking about, oh, well, she's lying, this, that, and the third. I'm just like, well, why are you even here for it? Why are you even here for? Why did you even sit there and really agree? I mean, I know you did it mostly for your dad, but if you really felt like you just couldn't get past it, you shouldn't have just even bothered to try. You should have just been like, nope. So, she is pretty much just getting nowhere with Abby. And, Abby does sit there and say, listen, I went too far with the whole kidnapping and everything else. And, for those reasons, and those reasons only, I guess I'm sorry. I guess. That was as good as it was going to get, apparently, coming from her. And again, that whole time that Gwen was sitting there trashing her life, I was going at her left and right. So I cannot sit there and be like, Abigail, you are being just totally immature. To an extent. But, she apologized for that, and Jack was like, alright. Well, we're getting somewhere, I guess. I mean, come on. Literally, when they walked into the room, I felt like they were like two female cats about to claw each other's faces off. Literally. In my head, I'm literally sitting there hearing the meow kind of noise as they're like both looking at each other. That's what I'm sitting there thinking. So, Abigail's like, listen, if you want this to be squashed, all you gotta do is look me in the eye and tell me you can kill my grandmother. That's all you gotta do. Look me in the eye, swear on your life that you did not kill my grandmother, and we'll move forward. Just as she's about to do that, Gwen throws up on her. And Abigail is pissed. I can't blame her. I really can't. I can imagine getting thrown up on. And, yeah. So she's upset, and she's all like, you did this on purpose, yada, yada, yada. You did this to get out of a lie, so you wouldn't have to lie. And I was like, Abigail, does that make any damn sense? Who throws up on command? Like, seriously, honestly, tell you, it got to a point where it's just like, Abigail, I'm not gonna lie, that makes no damn sense. And, at this point, she ups and leaves. Now, she goes back to Chaz, and she's like, oh, she threw up on me, and she did it on purpose. And I was like, Abigail, she didn't do it on purpose. But to be fair, Abigail did sit there and say, listen, most people get up, Why didn't she turn away? Why didn't she get up and just try to run out the room? Do something other than just literally in her direction. I was like, Abigail, I'm not gonna lie, you have a great point. Gwen, what the hell were you thinking? Listen, everyone has had those moments before. For different reasons. You don't just look at somebody and be like, and literally just do that. That's like almost the definition of just coughing and not covering your mouth and just literally coughing right on them. Like, no. So, but at this point, Abigail's like, nope, I'm not going to forgive her. All out war. I don't care. Now, I'm sitting there thinking, Chad did sit there and try to tell you, did try to say, could you at least try to get past, could you try to move on from this whole thing with Gwen so that we can get our family going and everything like that? Could you at least try? And we all know how I feel about Chad. I was going to sit there and say felt, but how I still feel about Chad. For the most part. He's a dick. But I got to side with him on this one. When Abigail was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not forgiving her. This is open warfare and everything like that. I'm like, so you just practically said, yeah, Chad, I know what you're asking me to do, but I'm going to not do it because I'm caught up in my feelings, and that's just how I feel about it. Okay, well, so much for trying. Now on the other side of town, after Jack gives her some ginger ale. That's supposed to help with, stomach aches and anything revolving around that. Gwen looks at the phone and she's like, yeah, I could be pregnant. The look. The eye opening, like the iris, the eyes opening up on Jack's face was just like, man, I could watch that like 4 more times. Because he looked like he was about to have a damn heart attack. Really did. He looked like he was about to have something. So yeah. Now, on the other side of town, after Allie finished having dinner with Philip and Kate, and they start talking about Charlie, she was like, yep, okay, so that pretty much just ends this whole whatever this is. And she leaves. And Philip was like, whoa, did I say something wrong? Did you say something wrong? Are you serious? I mean, you was literally sitting there talking about it, and you were just like, oh, I can't believe this guy actually worked with me. You just kept going, and then once she leaves, he says, did I say something wrong? I can't begin to tell you how stupid that actually sounds, but even Kate was like, listen, yeah, she doesn't want to sit there and think about him and everything like that. Now, probably some other stuff happened that I wasn't aware of, because Allie did sit there and say that they both came down on me, or Kate came down on me about the whole gun thing. But because there was a news interruption, and I had to sit there and watch it on, how did I watch it on? YouTube. I know that there's an app for it, but it comes on at 8 o'clock, and I'd rather just kind of skip through the commercials if I could. And it was only for like a half an hour or so. Anyway, Allie leaves. Gabby comes in. Gabby comes in, and she is all over Philip, because she knows that it is making Kate feel uncomfortable. And so she's all about that life. And so, she's sitting there flirting with him and stuff like that, talking about, oh, is it, even if I am using you, you're cool with that, right? And Philip was like, yep, I am. I'm sitting there like, partly I'm sitting there like, just because of Philip's reaction. Not because of anything else, just because of Philip's reaction. So he had me rolling for a little bit. So they're going in there talking about business and stuff like that. And Jake comes in. Jake is like, Jake tells Kate the bad news that they lost the lease. And Gabby is like, well, hold on. And Gabby is just like, what did she say? Who's the poor losers now? Or something along those lines. And I'm not gonna lie, I laughed my ass off, because I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, literally, Kate and Jake really thought they had to win. They thought they had the upper hand. It was all like floating and everything like that. And now they don't have to build another. So Yeah, it is actually pretty funny. But with that being said, you know, Gabby was like, you know, we could just go back to my place and see what happens. And Philip was like, yep, I'm with it. He walks out and he leaves. And, you know, because Jake was like, you know, we lost the lease to, and of course, Kay was like, Paulina, huh? Yeah, I figured that. So she's not too happy with, Paulina, and I have a feeling that they're going to have a bunch of more uncomfortable conversations, or conversations that I'm going to be like, really, Smith, they're going there. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit there and say right now, but if you've been watching it from before, you know what I'm talking about. Now, Ava was sitting there talking to Nicole, talking about Trip, and Nicole's all like, oh, you got to sit there and tell the truth, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, Nicole, when did you get so damn self-righteous? Like, I mean, I've been watching this show for this long, but you definitely did some crappy stuff at best. And now you want to get on some sort of more conviction talking about, oh, well, I don't want to sit there and lie to Rafe, and you got to sit there and tell the truth, this, that, and the third. And pretty much Ava's like, listen, Trip is my world. So if you're not going to sit there and help me, because at one point, Ava was like, you know, you need to sit there and convince him to drop the investigation. Like, Rafe is really going to sit there and listen. But pretty much she was like, if you are going to sit there and tell Rafe, then I'll just confess. So you go back and forth, and finally Nicole's like, alright, fine. Now, Ava talks to Rafe, and Rafe was talking to Gabby earlier, and Gabby pretty much was like, yeah, she snuck out the house. So her whole story about how she went to the store or some other crap or whatever, like how she was out and she woke up, no, she left early before that. So when Ava comes home, because that is home right now, when Ava comes home or whatever, she talks to Rafe, and Rafe is like, so we gotta talk. Let's cut straight to the point. And he's like, why did you lie to me for? Like, you said that you were, you know, you woke up early and that was a lie. So finally, finally, Ava tells the truth. You know, she talks about how she went over to Charlie's place. By the time she got there, you know, Charlie was dead, and she tells her whole story about how the last words that Charlie wanted was to hear her say that she loved him, and she said it, and then she just talks about how she was a crappy mother. At one point, it gets to a point where she talks about how she was really terrible, and, you know, she couldn't even sit there and ounce, like, you know, muster up any sympathy or any ounce of compassion towards him, even when he was a little kid and stuff like that. And Rafe was just trying to come up with a bunch of excuses, like, well, you know, maybe you just wasn't ready, and, you know, whatever. At one point, he just didn't even sit there and say anything. And then, even when Ava was like, yeah, but I just left him alone to die. And Rafe was just like, even she knew that, like, he couldn't just sit there and just pretend, you know, like, he couldn't come up with any more excuses. Now, the one thing that Ava did sit there and say is because of how she treated Charlie, he grew up to become the monster he was. And I'm like, well, listen, a lot of people have bad parents, and they don't grow up necessarily to be doing what Charlie did. So I do not put all of that, I don't put what Charlie did on her. I just put the fact that she was a crappy mother. And by the way, when is Charlie's father going to come in? Because I'm pretty sure he's going to have some words for Ava. I just hope he does not sit there and start excusing what Charlie did. Because that, I don't give a damn how much you love your child. There's certain things that you just cannot sit there and be like, well, I love you, so it's okay. Like, there has to be a lie. There has to be, even with your own child. There's certain things that you do that you have to. I don't know. I guess it's easy for me to sit there and say that. I know I'm not a parent, but, you know, if hopefully if I ever get that opportunity, I just have to believe that there's certain things that even my child would do that I'll be like, yeah, I can forgive you for 99% of the things in the world, but that, mm-mm. But with that being said, Rafe is like, why'd you lie to me? And Ava gives some sort of BS answer like, oh, well, I was mad or something like that. And, you know, Rafe is like, listen, we've been here for a while. We've gotten to know each other and everything like that, and you've been honest. You know, there's one point when she's crying and stuff like that. He grabs her hand. He's like, it's okay, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, Rafe, I don't know exactly how okay. I get you trying to make her feel better, but maybe she should feel some of this pain and sorrow because, well, she was a crappy mother, and I'm not going to sit there and try to excuse that. I just can't. But with that being said, Rafe was like, yeah, you were telling me the truth pretty much before, but now you're lying to me, and I want to know why. Now, tomorrow's episode, if they go there, should be interesting. If they don't do the whole, you know, bratty, whiny Ciara and mopey Ben story, hopefully we'll get back to Rafe and Ava really kind of talking it out. Now, last scene I'm going to sit there and talk about real quick is the Allie and Nicole scene. You know, hopefully in the next couple of days they can do something with Nicole's hair, because that look is just not working for her. Like, her hair just being pulled back like that is just not working for her. And I know I've said this a couple of times before, but whatever they're doing with her and the makeup and the hair and the lipstick, it's just, it's not working. It's just not working. But Allie does sit there and talk to Nicole, and Allie pretty much says that, you know, she thinks that Tripp did it. Now, Nicole's like, you need to sit there and press him to get answers because, you know, like, there's a possibility he could have did it. And Allie's like, listen, the last time I came with half-ass information, well, I nearly shut off his joystick and did other things to him, and I'm not going half-cocked again. And Nicole's like, but you know, there's a good possibility. I was like, Nicole, are you listening to what she's saying? Now, we all know how I feel about Allie, but if Allie learned her lesson, and I went hard on Allie, maybe you should listen to her. But, you know, Nicole's pretty much like, you know, listen, you got to sit there and find out, because here's the thing. The longer you act in denial, Rafe is going to figure it out. And it's better for him to sit there and come forward than to lie, you know? Because it's going to be a lot worse in the end. And granted, she does have a point, but I'm just like, Nicole, you know, Allie's like, I got to make sure. I got to make sure, because once I know, she's like, I'm going to have to sit there and tell Rafe. So I need to make sure I get all my facts straight. And I'm just like, good. We are learning from our mistakes. We're moving forward. This is character development. And I know I'm sarcastic, but I am, like, genuinely, like, good. Because we all know about that and how I felt about that. And I got a lot of smoke. And you know what? I still feel the same way about that. But my point is, she's moving forward and she's learning from her mistakes, and that is what's up. Double check something. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's actually about it. So yes, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.